Hey y'all,
Hey y'all,
I'm Ebony,
and I'm Shakora.
and welcome to the Unapologetically Us podcast, where we talk about life, mental health, fitness, finances, and
And
everything
everything
in
in
between.
between.
Thank you guys for joining us today. We are officially over 30 episodes by now when these come out. And so, as always, thank you guys for joining us. If you are new here, welcome.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
See, when you hit 30, you get new things, new intros, new everything. So, Um, child, listen, what's been up with you?
Child, listen, it is May. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So, of course, being the therapist that I am, I have to let you guys know that it's mental health awareness, and I have been posting or I will be posting throughout the month, mental health tips, encouraging people to work on their mental health, to make sure it's something that you put above everything, and the importance of different mental illnesses and how those things can unconsciously affect you. So being able to understand or realize, identify when I feel anxious, when I may feel depressed in a moment. There's a such thing called seasonal depression where, a certain event, situation, or season is happening and I feel sad. So I'm encouraging everybody this month to focus on their mental health. So happy Mental Health Awareness Month.
I just knew you was gonna talk about this new challenge for me.
Well, I'm gonna let the people know, but I am doing a jump rope challenge for May. I'm excited about the jump rope challenge. It stems from May being mental health awareness, just kind of like jump for your heart, staying physical, staying active, incorporating that cardio. So yeah, that jump rope challenge is definitely stemming from the month of May.
Okay.
Also, it being Jaden's birthday month. So yeah.
And today, when we're recording, today is her birthday. She probably don't listen, but happy birthday, Jaden.
Today is her actual birthday. So happy birthday, baby girl. 12 years. Girl had a
You got
baby
a preteen.
12 years ago.
You got a whole preteen.
Girl, don't even. Girl. Anywho, that girl, 12 years. It's been 12 years, y'all.
12. Yeah.
So yeah, child, listen, what's been up with you?
So, I held part of this because I wanted your reaction for the camera. So, y'all know we just finished Shakora's squat challenge. And I don't know if it's like you can see the differences in certain parts of my body, but my coworker was like, yeah, she just completed a squat challenge. So they was like, dang, I'm like, yeah, we did like 2,000 over the course of 30 days. Now all of a sudden they asking for a squat challenge.
Yes.
So I'm doing the squat challenge all over again to do it with them because they want to do it.
Yeah.
And then it's so funny because they're like, yeah, Ebony's training us. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. But it's funny because like one of the ladies, me and her, she's like me in like 15 years. Like
gotcha.
a lot of our paths are like parallel.
Yeah.
And so then the other lady, she's old enough to be like my mom in a sense. And it's so funny to watch her. Like she's like, come in, like, am I doing it like this? Why I feel it in my knee or I feel it in my back? And I'm like, no, you gotta, fix this posture, do this or whatever like that. And the other lady, she's getting married next year. She's a year older than me. And her and her husband are on this weight loss goal. So she's doing the squats with us, but she committed herself to doing 100 a day with him. So right now we only at like 30. So she do her 30 with us and then do 70 more to fulfill her obligation with him. And so it's so funny, like just watching them, like, yeah, cause she over there, she just drop it. And I'm like, I was telling my sister, I said, I don't really see it like they see it, but they like, no, we can tell, we can tell.
Yeah, other people always gonna see before you.
Yeah, but I'm like, dang, I didn't think it was like that noticeable. And I said, clearly them squats got their booty sitting really nice. Because y'all like, oh, we trying to do squats too. Yeah, because I'm trying to do my legs. And also, how I'm going to do this? And I'm like, Lord, I guess that's where it starts.
Yeah, it is where it starts. That's where it starts. And that's the point for me to do the squat challenges and those different challenges. You know, we did an ab challenge one month. But just to encourage people to want to get up and do it. The dedication, the consistency, that's why it's daily, and just the all around togetherness of being able to incorporate those different things while still working on self. So yeah, that's good.
And they didn't want to record, so we're going by the honor system.
Okay.
Of did you do, and it started off with just being me, the first lady I was talking about, and the girl getting married. Mm-hmm. Then it ended up, it's damn near my whole department.
I know that's right.
Doing a squat challenge, and we literally like either email each other, or if we have our numbers, we would say, "I got my squats in today."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they were like, good. "Oh, I gotta do 10." I said, "No, as long as you get 10 for the day." Or we start at 15. Yeah. As long as you get 15 for the day. So they're coming, "I got 3." I'm like, "Well, you got 17 more to go."
Well, that's good. That's good. I'm excited about that. That's good.
And they said, "We'll know who's lying by how they walk in the building." So, cause you know they a little old, so they gonna be a little sore.
The knees gonna be a little.
So they was like, "We gonna know who doing what by how they walk and come next week. Because by next week you should be able to feel something."
Absolutely. But yeah, just make sure when if you're giving them the different tips, letting them know not to be coming down on them toe tips and where to press, because you can injure yourself. So you want to make sure that they're getting the right form, especially.
I don't have to tell them. They're coming in like the first I talked about, who I say I say that's my twin, but you just older than me. She was like, I was doing them, and I said, wait, and I stopped, and I said, oh, I was doing it wrong. I'm like, okay,
Well, that's good. That's good. I am excited about that.
So I said, they doing a jump rope challenge.
I don't know why everybody's scared of the jump rope challenge. Like, I think the jump rope challenge is the easiest challenge out of them all. Like, I'm trying to figure out how I can incorporate something else with jump roping, because I feel like that's just too easy. Like, if I say, 100 jumps starting out, like, I literally just been practicing to see like what I want to start with. Like, I literally can do 100 jumps in 30 seconds.
But you gotta think about you compared to everybody else.
I know, but jump roping just seems so easy. But I will. I'm not gonna start with 100, but it's not gonna be 10 either.
Which is why I was like, oh no, not 10. Which is why I was like with them, cause I said, now y'all, it gets up to 140. Yeah. And they was like, but if we make it to that point, we can do the 140. So I'm like, okay, but that's why, like, when they was doing 3, 5 at a time, Yeah. And we'll be at our cubicles like 1, 2. Okay, that's 3. I just did my 3, y'all. Like, it's funny. It's hilarious.
Good. That's good. Yep. You got to start somewhere.
You do. And so then it's funny to hear like the twin, her and her husband say, well, we do push-ups every morning and we doing this. So I'm like, look at y'all. I said, let me thought I'm inspiring y'all to get y'all life together.
That's good.
But anyway, let's get into today's topic.
Let's get into it.
So some of you may know, some of you may not know, Ebony K. Williams. She's a lawyer. She was on Real Housewives of New York. She, do a lot of speaking. She has a book out, whatever. She was doing a podcast with Iyanla Vanzant, and in the podcast episode, Iyanla asked Ebony, the clip starts with Iyanla asking her, would she date a bus driver? And she kind of like paused and was like,
if he owned the bus.
Well, background, they were talking about like black women and love and just like the struggles of black women with finding love. Especially in today's time. And so Iyanla asked her about the bus driver. She was like, if he drive the bus. And Iyanla piggybacked and said, so you would discredit a man just off of his occupation. If he had everything else that you wanted,
check all your boxes,
you would discredit him because of his occupation. And so we'll start with that part first. Me personally, my thing is your preference is your preference.
Yeah.
Black women are in numbers putting themselves in positions to be able to work and afford the life that they want. Black girl luxury has become a thing. Not saying that that's a goal of all black women, but some black women are pushing for that luxurious lifestyle. And so if you think about location wise where you work and the average salary of a bus driver, some women are making more than that. And they are going for the men that kind of meet them or equally yoked with them financially. So, but then you got some women that just like on your priority list.
Yeah.
Where does finances fit? So, for some women, finances are on that level, and Ebony K. Williams is one of those type of people. And so I feel like for me, your preference is your preference. If you ask me, for me, when it comes down to deciding who I want to be with, marry, whatever, my thing is you gotta have some type of get up and go about you. I'm not the woman that's cool with her man just sitting on his butt.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I understand that things happen. I understand that, especially now with the economy, recession and layoffs and stuff, I get that happens. I'm looking at what are you doing when it happens. Because, you have your time to mourn and feel away, but are you getting up and doing what you got to do?
Absolutely.
So, and it could be that you, at this point, you're driving buses because you need some type of income to get where you want to be. What you think?
When I first saw the episode with Ayana, I was like, okay. I mean, and again, Ebony is, allowed her choice. That's her choice. That's her preference. It's what she wants. Cool. But I feel like she should have individualized her opinion versus generalizing it and making it like, oh, whatever.
But some people can, not to cut you off, but some people can look at bus drivers and say that their benefits are good, their pension is good, depending on what type of bus that they drive for. Right.
And that's what I was leading to. Like, I think Ayana ended up saying to her, even if, like, this may be his career job. And I think essentially said that it was mediocre. We
ain't got to that point yet, but yeah.
I mean, it's a point where, right now in the society that we're in, everybody strives to be entrepreneurs. And it is a mindset that everybody wants to have. But everybody can't be business owners. We gotta have some people who are okay with being the workers. Guess what? Businesses won't succeed if they don't have somebody who wants to be the worker. He can own the bus, but somebody got to be his driver. You can own the Fortune 500 company, but who's going to be your employees? So is there really a such thing as mediocre? I mean, for me, I'm with you on that. Like, I'm okay with whatever your goal, whatever your mindset is. If, Ayana said, even if they check your boxes, like, if you're checking my boxes and you gonna love me the way that I want to be loved, if you gonna treat me the way that I want to be treated, your occupation, I wouldn't say doesn't matter, because I need you to have an occupation.
Amen.
And if you don't, then I want you to have some goals, some things that you want to go to. So get there. Have a plan. Let me see the business plan or whatever. Or let me see the resume that you have preparing for wherever you're going. But no, for me, no occupation. Now, I'm not going to have nobody just not helping and, feeling as if they're not equally yoked with me. But I'm not going to knock that bus driver,
And so I was talking to somebody else. Just, I'm a hey, what what you think about this type of thing, just to hear different people's perspective. And I was talking to someone, and they were saying, who has made a decent life for themselves, by themselves. It's like, I have this type of lifestyle, and I need somebody who's going to be able to, I don't want to have to give up that lifestyle because I choose to be with somebody. And so, yes, you do think about the finance of the person that's coming into your world, because you're thinking about how their situation is going to affect what the life that you set for yourself so far. And so, if I'm a 6-figure woman, I may not look at a $50K job type of man.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking about the lifestyle that I want. Which, why I say at the end of the day, your preference is your preference. But to take it back to what you said, the issue where I had was downing the person. I can say that you're not who I'm looking for, but I'm not going to down whatever career path that you chose to take.
Absolutely.
Because you have to get up and like what you do every day. Just like I have to go home and like the person who I'm with every day. My mom told me something that stuck with me was, she was like, I'm not so into who you choose to date because you have to go home to that person, not me. At the end of the day, because her dad told her that you have to go home to them. So that's how I take it going forward. But like you said, and I agree with that, I'm not downing what you choose to do. Now, she went on the Breakfast Club because they allowed her to go a little deeper in what she said. And I listened. I got what she was trying to say. I got what she was trying to say. She was saying that black people make up a good portion of what she called average, mediocre, by definition, jobs. And so she was saying for her mate has to be somebody who thinks beyond average. And so she was saying, like, yeah, you drive the bus, but there's more potential in you than just driving the bus. So going beyond just driving the bus and reaching your potential that way. What you say on the Breakfast Club and what you say on your Double Down is two different things. Because you made the analogy of parents having C's and D children, giving them hugs when they're coming home making C's and D's. On the flip side, though, you don't know what them kids did to hit a C and D. Would my mama hug me if I came home with a C and D on my report card? No, she wouldn't, because my mama know I'm an A and B child.
Absolutely.
But if I had a child who I know busting their tail day in and day out, and the most you can give me is a C, or the best you can give me is a C, I'm going to celebrate that C because I know you tried and you worked hard for it. So that's where I'm like, for what you were trying to say, not the right analogy. I get what you're saying is going beyond to reach your full potential. I get that.
Right.
And I get wanting black people to be on the level as everybody else. At the same time, though, you can't chastise what somebody chooses to do because they don't meet your expectations.
Absolutely. Yeah. That Breakfast Club interview I was just like, oh, girl, are you serious right now? Because especially with the analogies that were made, I was like, okay, because I think she even said something about that's white supremacy or something like that. I'm like, okay. But to go back about the C's and D's, she was like, if that's what we're accepting, and I bet that bus driver is that same person who was making C's and D's at school, who then mother validated that like it was okay. And I get what she meant in a way. But again, I think that was her general opinion versus what everybody, because like you said, your mom knew, A and B, you get a C or D, this is more than what you can give. But if you're a C and D or whoever type of child or person, and you bust your butt for this C or this D, then okay. Because I think that's what Kim said on the Breakfast Club. Kim said, my son makes C's and D's here and there, and we're doing what we can to get him to where he needs to be or whatever. But you can't say, oh, your full potential, because who are you to say that what my potential is? What my potential is? My potential may be this C, and I may have done everything that I could for this C, and that may have been my full potential.
Yep.
So she put her opinion and her individualized statements and generalized it, because when I tell you the Breakfast Club had so many people calling in. Mm-hmm. Like, she had one lady who stuck with me. She was a teacher. And she said, I don't agree with what she said. And she said, but to be specific, I'm a teacher, and I work with children every day. And to use normal, and I think that was Charlemagne's thing, because he kept saying, normal.
It's
what's considered
normal?
Yeah. This is normal, because my normal is different from your normal. Mm-hmm. Your normal is different from my normal. Mm-hmm. And everything else. So what is normal? And he was saying essential workers, because he made a good statement. He said, if the trash man stop coming pick your trash up, how you gonna feel? He was like, at the end of the day, they're essential, because my job and your job can stop today.
Sure can.
But they gotta go to work, because they help the world move on. The doctors and the policemen and custodians and the trash people and the bus drivers and all of that, taxi drivers and all of that. Like, why she generalized the individual statement is beyond me.
Right. And because I used the analogy of the 9 to 5 and entrepreneurship as well. Just because there's people who hit the entrepreneur route, they're down people who work 9 to 5s. Like you said, everybody's aspirations is not to be an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
And some people can go beyond, in her case, potential by climbing the ladder as high as they possibly can.
Yep.
So just because you choose to work at 9 to 5 doesn't make you less than those that go and pursue their own businesses.
Yes.
Because like you said, you need it, but at the same time too, some people, not saying that, well, for one, that's not their goal, but two, taking it back to preference. You live your life how you choose to live your life. So people who work 9 to 5 say, after 5, I want to shut off. I don't want to be dealing with something else no more.
Right.
I don't want to have to double up my stuff so I can take a week off. I want to be able to, when I take my vacation, approved or not, because some people go, y'all know y'all be going if they ain't approved. Approved or not, that whatever I left will be there when I get back.
Absolutely.
As an entrepreneur, you can't, you can leave it, but you're going to walk back to more than what you left. So, taking it to, because that was my only issue with that. At the end, like I said, at the end of the day, your preference is your preference. You date who you choose to date. Financial wise, I saw if she said I don't want to date the bus driver, give me the owner. That's your preference.
That
boo.
is.
Go ahead with it. Go with God, Crispy, with that one. Just don't down nobody for doing it. And I can even say I saw what she was trying to convey. But what you conveyed on the Breakfast Club and what you conveyed on that video was not the same. Yeah. Because even the whole white supremacy thing, she was trying to relate it to just us being stuck with being average and basic when they're going above and beyond. But we have to be honest too and say that there's a lot of them that are sitting in what she would call average and mediocre positions as well.
Absolutely.
And so a lot of us, and then they brought up opportunities. A lot of people, because one of the girls that was on the thing, I think she was Mandy. Mandy said, I grew up in Florida. I didn't know anything about being an accountant until I hit college. And that's what made her pursue accounting. She worked in Big Four. She's a Big Four accounting firm. She saw different because of because she was able to step outside of what she saw. So it's at the same time too, you're holding people to a standard based on what they were able to see. We answered that question in one of our episodes one time about the difference between black schools and white schools. Because you expose yourself to more, you're able to see more. So some people may see a bus driver and say, well, shoot, I like their schedule. They work from 9 to 11 or whatever, or if they driving a city bus transit, they work their little time, they go home and they chilling, and it's affording them the life that they want. Just say that the life that they afford or the life that they want is not a life that you want.
Absolutely.
And you're okay, and be okay with that. Which takes me to this next topic, or next portion in the same conversation I was having with somebody. It made me think too. She said, why do we always have these conversations amongst us? You never hear any other race discussing a white woman's preference, a Hispanic woman's preference, an Asian woman's preference. She said white women tend to go after the CEOs, the lawyers, the engineers, the people with the money. And they're not looked at as hoes. In their space, and even with certain people, some of us, they're not looked at as hoes. They're not looked at as gold diggers. They're not looked at as that. But if we say, well, my man gotta have this, then we hoes, or we leave one. If we talk to one basketball player, it don't work out. We talk to another one, then we hold because we talking to all these basketball players. But Sally Sue can talk to basketball, football, MLB, NHL, whatever, and she just going off about her day.
Well, I don't necessarily agree with that, and I didn't hear that portion.
No. This was in the conversation I had.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't necessarily agree with that. Like, I do think, I agree with it to a certain extent, because I do think that if a black woman, we have those conversations amongst our people, because we don't like to see each other grow. So when I decide to go from this football player, or this CEO, or that CEO, or this business owner, and this business owner, then I'm essentially this, or a hoe, or a gold digger, or a whatever. Because why I can't just be looking for somebody to get me to the goals or walk with me in my goal setting, versus the other races, they gonna go with their move regardless. They don't care, because guess what? The white woman best friend, she gonna be like, girl, yeah, go. Yeah, try to date him. Come here, Bill. Meet Susan. But we gonna be like, girl, I was trying to talk to him first. What you doing? Girl, you know so-and-so trying to talk to, you better go before her. That's why they can go with their moves, because it's that crab in the bucket mentality. We talk about that all the time. It's the biggest thing that I hate in our race, that every other race they have their stuff, but they build each other up. We can help each other level up. Here, you higher than me?
Which is the point that they was making. You know, Sally Sue not gonna get on Haley because she went for the CEO and it didn't work out, so she went for another one. But we will sit here and have full-blown, day-long discussions because you went from CEO to CEO.
Oh, yeah.
And you're not, and white men aren't looking at white women to date them because they working at a plant, or they driving buses, or emptying trash.
Absolutely. So then that's true, because they want to level up, and I think that goes into loops around into what she said, because our average or whatever is lower than everybody else's,
which is what she said on the Breakfast Club,
right? But I can't say that my average compared to Sue average would be, because I may have the same goals. Again, I think it goes to preference. It goes to something that was an individual opinion became generalized. Now, granted, don't get me wrong, in no way, shape, or form am I saying, because I do think that we start at a lower expectation than everybody else. And when we do succeed or get somewhere, we're praised more for it because it's not expected. It's not something that we usually see versus somebody in another culture or race happening. They're like, oh, mom graduated, dad graduated, so and so, and I'm over here like I'm the first graduate. So yes, that is definitely happening. And you know what? They did something on Power. I love my Power. And I was like, man, that was like a very, very good
when
interpretation.
They had them step back and forth.
Oh yes,
and
had them step. They all started on the same line. Who parents didn't graduate? If your parents graduated, step up. If your parents didn't graduate, step back. Just different questions, and everybody end up in different. We all right here in this classroom, sharing the same classroom, getting the same lesson right now. But look how much ahead of life that you started at before me because of where I came from, and that's why.
And I think that that's where people kind of like it's kind of like when you reach a certain level. It's like you forget that maybe you started behind the line.
Yeah.
And because you started behind the line, that you, like you said, the crab in the bucket or whatever it's called, that you feel like everybody got to do what you did to get above the line.
Yep.
When not understanding that sometimes you cross the line to go back and help other people cross it a little less harder than you had to.
Absolutely.
Because you can't just cross the line and be up here with everybody else and then forget everybody else behind you.
But that's
at the same time too, though, you also have to realize that you crossed the line and took 4 steps. My goal may be just to make it to the line.
Absolutely.
But that don't make me less of a person because all I'm doing is cool with being crossing the line.
Or average. I have to then become average because I wanted to cross the line, but you just wanted to get to the line, so you average because you didn't want to. That's not right.
It's not right.
That's not right. Our goals are different. The things that we want out of life is different. My top was different from your top.
Yep.
It's not right. And that's the reason why our race is always criticized or what we expect or see as a major goal, that's considered average. When we talk about
after a while, starting a small business gonna be average.
Yeah.
Because the way a lot of people are picking up and doing them, it's going to eventually be average. So then what? Then what's next?
Yeah, because baby, it was a accomplishment. When we was little, what they said, you graduate high school, you good.
And
by the time I graduated, I needed a bachelor's.
To her level, to what she was saying is average. And masters ain't too far behind it.
What's left? What's left?
Exactly.
Because that doctorate degree can't do much more than what that master's can do. Like, come on.
And that's not everybody's goal.
And it's not. School not for... Hell, to be 100% honest, if I didn't start school, look, I would have went a different route, baby. It's easier to get through without going to college.
Yep.
Like, you
and
have
you even
a
think
lot
about kids. Like we talked about in the previous episode, where the things that we thought were big deals when we were growing up ain't nothing to these kids.
Yep, absolutely.
Me, if you went to go eat crab and shrimp with your family, baby, y'all was rich.
Y'all was
these kids getting crab, shrimp, Chick-fil-A. I wish I would have asked my mom.
Baby, I don't even think I had Chick-fil-A until I was in college.
It's not a job.
You probably because I wasn't. You stick with what you know, and I didn't.
Oh no,
I didn't.
Because I had to see what was the big deal with Chick-fil-A.
And I didn't even know it was a big deal. See, that's what I'm talking about. What was expected from you was and we're the same age, and Chick-fil-A was on the radar. Oh, this is where I want to go. And I never even
thought about it.
Thought about Chick-fil-A.
Yep. So, yeah. Because we can wind it down right here. Preference is your preference. I have what I look for in a potential mate. Shakura had what she looked for when she was dating and decided, to get married. And, some people, I look at some of my things as like hard yeses and hard no's.
Yes.
I think somebody gave me the analogy when you're looking for a house, that you're not going to get everything that you want. And so, but you have your hard yeses and you have your hard no's. And then you have your things where it's kind of like, I make and deal with that. So for me, I have my hard yeses and I have my hard no's. And so, I don't disagree with how she feels about it, because that's how she feels and that's her preference. My only argument is, don't down or call somebody average because of what they choose to do with their life. Because if you're Christian and you believe in Jesus, you believe in God, you know that you have one life and you live that life according to how you choose to live that life. So if driving buses make you happy, if working on a garbage truck makes you happy, if being a police officer makes you happy, if cleaning buildings make you happy, if doing landscaping makes you happy, do that. Because time is, people leaving up out of here, especially been lately, left and right. So you have to know when you close your eyes that final time that you were okay with what you chose to do with your life.
Absolutely. I agree with that so much. I'm just appalled still. But again, I have to just be okay with her preference, and I understand, I feel like that. I feel like I want somebody who match my energy and will be able to give what I can give. But the thing is, who am I to tell somebody what their potential is? I have to be able to know what you are, who you are, what you like, what you love, and go with that. And if not, if the shoe don't fit, move on, go to a different department store, but just don't generalize your opinion.
Right.
That's my takeaway. Do not generalize your opinion of how you feel, what your expectations are, and generalize that to the whole race, basically.
And I feel like she got a little more backlash because I think she might be over 40 and not married. And of course, they brought up the fact that the guy that she was engaged to was a white man. So of course, that opened up a whole nother can of worms to people. But I do want to say too, I don't like, her preference is her preference. But I also feel like she shouldn't be attacked because of what she prefers to have, because of her age and her status, and the fact that she's not married. Because another thing too that people like to put on for people is to settle. So, like we were saying in the Angel Reese episode, you can't tell people to be you can't tell black women to go for what they want, be unapologetically you, and then ask them to conform to what somebody else wants. So if she believes that the kind of man that she wants exists and she's well within her right to feel that way, then again, I don't down her for feeling like that. And I won't recommend to anybody, whatever your standards are, whatever your bar is, you keep it there and don't lower it for nobody. So, like I said, her preference is her preference. Just don't down nobody. But at the same time, too, as women get older, because people start to lower the value of a woman the older that she gets, especially black women. You lower the value of them. You think that they are, well, something got to be wrong with you, or, well, that's why you ain't got no man right now, because you worried about this and you worried about that, or whatever. When she can be worried about that if she chooses to.
Absolutely.
But that don't make her less of a woman. That don't make her less worthy of having love if that's what she wants. Right. Because she has a bar and you can't meet that standard.
Absolutely. I agree with that too. She definitely has a right to her opinion and the things that she wants. But I also believe that when you're searching, when you're looking or waiting, that you being able to provide what you asking for. And so yeah, you may have the funds, yeah, you may have X, Y, and Z, and I don't think so much of lowering the value. Now I know that the society will lower the value on a woman who's overage and not this or not that. But two, we also aren't able to look into ourselves to say, oh, well, what am I asking for? Am I able to give what I'm asking for? So just to ensure that we're not looking for this unicorn, this build a man or this build a woman, because this is what I want, thinking that this is what I am too, but I haven't looked in that mirror. So, I mean, right to her opinion, but definitely don't lower those standards, baby. If your man got to be on side of you in the courtroom, baby, he out there somewhere. You know, he out there somewhere, and whatever age that may be, don't lower that standard for nobody, because essentially you're going to feel resentful, you're going to feel miserable, and things like that. So, yeah, kudos to you, girl.
If you have any questions or topic suggestions, feel free to email us at unapologeticallyuspod@yahoo.com. That is unapologeticallyuspod@yahoo.com. Also follow our Instagram page at unapologeticallyuspod.
Yes.
Thank you guys for watching this episode today. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, finish your wine. Rate us on all podcast platforms. And if you are watching and not following our Instagram, please go do so. If you are listening, and even though you just listen to us on like the audio version, go hit that subscribe button on our YouTube page. Trying to get our subscribers up. As I said at the beginning, we are over 30 episodes at this point, and we are now campaigning to get our subscribers up and our ratings up and our viewage up, and we are trying to do everything that we can, because eventually we want to get some money out this thing. But yeah, all minds clear.
All minds clear.
See you guys next episode. Bye.